Yo, what's up? It's Robbie from ThrashMag.com. I'm going to try a little something different this year. I'm going to write my article, but I'm also going to accompany it with this video here of my top 10 albums of 2009. There are a lot of great albums this year, much more than 2008 was. 2008 was terrible, as you read in my last review of the year last year. But I'm going to start off with some disappointments this year, and they're not really disappointments, but they're more very big letdowns because I expected so much more from these bands and these albums that came out. And those would be Dredg, The Pariah, The Parrot, The Delusion, Porcupine Tree, The Incident, and The Deerhunter, Act 3, Life and Death. All three are good albums, but none of them are like, boom, up, my top 10 this year. They're just, they're good, but they're not. I think they just got hurt because I think I overhyped them in my head more than, they're great bands, but these albums are kind of letdowns for me, particularly Porcupine Tree and Dredg. Dredg's album isn't bad, but it just doesn't stand up to the last few albums. The Porcupine Tree the problem with the Porcupine Tree album is it's just a lot of filler in it. There's a couple great songs, but overall it doesn't mesh very well. It's supposed to flow as one long song, but I think there's just a lot of filler, a lot of scenes in there that just don't work for me. And it ended up being like maybe a few good songs and a couple of filler tracks and a minute and a half. Things that I don't know, nothing. It's kind of like the Mars Volta's album, Francis and You. It's just kind of like that. It's kind of a lot of nothing in it. And kind of annoyed the hell out of me. And yeah, those are my disappointments. But now on to the top 10. Number 10 is Thursday's Common Existence. I've been a fan of this band for a long time. Always great music, great albums, all that. But the problem with this album is it's a great album. It's obviously my top 10, so it's good. But the production on it is terrible. It's crap. The songs would have stood out a lot more if it had the production quality of War All the Time or something like that. But that's number 10, Thursday's Common Existence. Number 9 is Alice in Chains, Black Gives Way to Blue. This is the first album in 14 years. The first since former lead singer Layne Staley's death. And new lead singer William Duvall does a very good job trying to step into his shoes. It's impossible, but he did a good job. The whole band does a great job in coming back from such a long hiatus. Jerry Cantrell's guitar riffs were a little this album, but they were still very good. It's a great album in my top 10. And but very Alice in Chains they didn't miss a beat. It really did. And this band's got the future now. They're back. Number 8 is Isis's Waver and Radiant. I enjoyed this album a whole lot more than I have any of their other albums. It has more of a flow to it. It doesn't seem like it drones on as long as the other ones do, and it's just overall a great piece. I have written a full review on this album a few months ago, so just go read that if you really want to. It's just done. Number 7 is Thrice's Beggars, and while it's not in the level of, say, VCU or the Artist in the Ambulance, it is a whole lot better than the Alchemy Index. The songs are more straightforward while still retaining that Thrice feel to them, not as heavy as they used to be. The one big complaint I have with this album is kind of a short album, and would have been better if they left on the two bonus tracks of Answer and Red Telephone, but it's a small little, just skipping for them stuff. Still a great album, definitely a check out. Number 7. Number 6, Pearl Jam, Backspacer, one of my favorite bands of all time. And it's funny because I just got done talking about Thrice before this, and Thrice is basically becoming the new Pearl Jam, where they progress every album and don't sound like the same each album. And this album for Pearl Jam is, it's almost back to form. It's not as heavy as, say, tenor verses, but it's It's really fast-paced, it's really quick, it's high energy. I think it's their best album since 1998 Yield, in all honesty. And like the Thrice album, the big problem I have with this album is just too freaking short. Too short. I think it's about 40 minutes long, but hell, it's 40 minutes of great music, and definitely check it out, especially if you're a longtime Pearl Jam fan. Number 5 is Between the Buried and Me, The Great Misdirect. And this album can almost be labeled as like a letdown because, Colors, the last album, is so freaking incredible. And you can almost say that this album is like a progression of Colors, but really all to me, it just sounds like all they're doing is playing more guitar solos and more musical wankery. Being very Dream Theater-ish more and, actually writing great songs. The first 3 songs on the album are you've heard these songs a million times from this band, but the last 3 songs on the album are really what stand out in this album. And, only 6 songs, but it's still a great album. There's a lot of songs I love in there, but there's a lot of something that could have been better in this album, but still great.
So aren't you glad I get psychedelic with a pen and a pad? Room enough to know it's about that critical. Find it difficult to be so analytical. I feel with hope.
Number 4 is 311's Uplifter, and it's by far the most fun album on this entire list. And it's 311, it's all about having fun. And it's a huge improvement over their last 2 albums, and Don't Tread on Me and Evolver. It's back to form in a lot of ways, but as long as you don't expect this to be the same band they were in 94 and 95, it better off to be. But still, awesome album.
For a second, just before the second wave falls through. It's the only sky I've seen since we made this barricade of dawn.
Number 3 is Gavin Castleton's Home, and it's described by Castleton himself as a opera. And in fact, it's very cinematic. It's it starts with a relationship building, relationship going down, and during that time, zombies come out of the earth and attack, and weird crap happens. It's a very odd album, but awesome, very very awesome. It doesn't make up for not having Cleveland Small anymore, but Castleton is putting out albums like this, and I think that can cope for a while. Number 2 is Mastodon's Crack the Sky, and of course it's a concept album. This one dealing with astral projection and wormholes and time travel and all sorts of other weird stuff I really don't get with this album, but still it takes what they did on Blood Mountain and raises up the level into a grandiose scale of awesomeness. The music is just freaking superb. It's very instrumentally driven, more so than even Leviathan or some of the earlier work. It's not as heavy, they're not growling and stuff as much as they used to, but it fits more with the theme of the sound, and fits more with what they were trying with the sound. Very, very awesome album. I can't wait to hear what they're gonna do in the future, how they're gonna top this. Unfortunately, it's gonna be like Colors to me with Between the Buried and Me was, so we'll have to see what they do with the next album. Number 1 is Carnival Sound Awake. And I had a little dilemma with this album in the same way I had Catasfly Set Sail the Prairie. I heard the album, in the middle of 2006, but it wasn't really released until the middle of 2007. But this is a little different in the fact that Sound Awake is out, widely available. It's been out since the middle of summer in Australia. So it doesn't come out until next year here in the States. But since it's already an official release, I'm putting it on my 2009 list. And it takes everything from Tamada and makes it better. It's more proggy, I guess you could say, than Tamada was, as that was more of a straight rock album. But this everybody in the band just upped their levels on this album. It's just, every song is just great. It doesn't have no, epic tale or grandiose story like Home or Crack the Sky. It's just an awesome album. Just, goes on and, builds itself up, and it's just awesome, I guess you could say. I can't say awesome enough for it. It's just a great album. It's not Set Sail the Prairie. It's not the awesomeness that was. That was a completely different level. But it's pretty great. And I'm going to end it on there. And that's my top 10 of 2009. I hope you enjoyed it. And feel free to comment on any of these albums or whatnot. Let me know. How you doing?